So yeah, Godwyn Run, the Godwyn Run. I mean, on part 17. Hey, Galen, caught this one. Yeah, so spontaneous as I am with my streams, I think it's a good one to catch them. I hope you're doing fine, mate. Oh, here we are. Samurai required a hat. But in the background, unfortunately. What do you mean within the background? It's kind of interesting that the Karen Princess statue is even on the bridge in those. I mean, interesting design choice, in my opinion. I don't know if this statue is also on the other bridge as well. Thank God I can climb up here. Oh, okay. I mean, yeah. This stream is not the most important thing in the world. It's way better to have some quality time with your partner, I would say. I really like the view from this location over here. The sky and even the view on the earth tree. Yeah, but thanks supporting the stream. I really appreciate that. No, I don't have any focus. It's just another playthrough with some commentary of mine. These four belfries seem so incredibly highlighted from this point of view. It's kind of insane. It feels like they designed the four belfries to exactly fit this point of view. It's also quite nice that you can see the Carrier Manor from here as well. Yeah, I mean, and the earth tree. I mean, you can see the earth tree from almost every location, but yeah. But the four belfries are, yeah. I think it doesn't seem like a coincidence. It feels like they designed the four belfries that they fit incredibly well in this, yeah, this point of view. Yeah, definitely a beautiful shot. We have 3 wolves. Sorry, guys. And that are 2 wolves. Oh, 3 again. Okay. And again 3 wolves. What do we have here? One, 2, and 3. I can see a pattern here. Again, 3 wolves. And a big... Oh no. There. 1, 2... Well, then this is different though. Are these 3 normal ones? No, 4. We have a big white one and 4. Okay. Ah, come on, guys. Are they not attacking me? Oh, okay, they are.
Well, it's been an age since I've seen a customer. How can I help here at the end of the earth?
It's interesting to me that he's saying it's the end of the earth. This one is interesting. The meteor bolt. Some might think I'm over-interpreting there, but I think they are placing a specific amount of items to allude to something with the number of it. And this is incredibly weird, especially the Eye of Yellow. It's just sold once. There's just one single Eye of Yellow sold by this merchant. Or 3 Trina's lilies, for example. And 8 bloody fingers. I don't know why it has to be 8. It's sometimes weird. No thumbs? What do you mean? Hey, sneaky turtle, by the way. Though I think that we... this is really intriguing as well. Especially the Fanged Imp Ashes. Because I don't think that we can even buy any other... You have fingers and 2 thumbs? oh, because we have 8 fingers. Oh. I don't know. You know, I think they have. I think what they do is they give specific symbols meanings that they are using in their design, and the same might apply to numbers as well. I think they are giving numbers a meaning, and according to that meaning, they are yeah, placing a specific amount sometimes when the meaning fits. For example, we learned that the number 3, for example, is a sign of bad omen. It's directly stated in the foretold foul foot. And that the number 4, for example, is a sign of great luck. So that is quite obvious that those numbers might have a meaning, might contain some meaning. But it might be less obvious when it comes to other numbers, I think. And the only way to figuring the meanings out is by it's exactly what I think that Miyazaki might had in mind when he said that he liked the experience to figuring out the meaning of a word or kanji without knowing it. So the only way to figuring out a meaning of a word, for example, is by looking at it at the context in which the word appears, looking at sentences in which it appears, and only by examine several sentences or several contexts in which it appears, a meaning becomes recognizable. And yeah, that's also how my approach works. I try to look at almost every location in which a number or an item appears and try to give them some meaning by interpreting them and see if it fits the context and the environment in all of these locations. Any thoughts on number 7? No, not yet. Not really. Though it's interesting because in the number 7, for example, the number 7 appears on the candle tree wooden shield. It seems to be we also have not only do we have that on the candle tree wooden shield, we have 7 wandering mausoleums. We have 7 there are special grave assets that appears 7 times in specific locations. That's also kind of interesting. Yeah, especially because the community might have taken everything at face value. Seven gravel stones in the church near Godwyn's monument. Oh, you mean the Stormcaller church in front of the Radagon statue, I think. Yeah, when it comes to the community, I'm just a little bit sad because I thought a lot of people might join my approach and would, yeah, I don't know if they have to join my theory, but at least I would be glad if some people would join my approach in how I see things, because I think I'm on a, I mean, of course I'm convinced of myself that I'm on the right track, but yeah, in the end I just want to have some really interesting discussions, but a lot of people are denying that this that the details might go so deep, and yeah, I think Godwyn used made the knights lightning bolts incantation the death knights use. Yeah, I usually try not to go too much into the detail and see the things more symbolic, for example, or for example, when it comes to lightning bolts or dragon cult incantations, so what we can definitely say that these are Godwyn related. And yeah, of course, you might want to go deeper into that and think about how exactly they are connected to Godwyn. For example, maybe you think Godwyn used or made those for the Death Knights, but sometimes I just leave it there. I just I just keep it in mind, okay, they are Godwyn related. So every time or in every location where I see these things, I just think I have this Godwyn association in mind, but I'll leave it at that. And because it helps me to not lose myself into details and I just look at associations and yeah, sometimes try to
Have
dig
a
deeper,
safe
try to interpret things,
journey.
but yeah, at that point it becomes more of a riddle, like trial and error. I don't know.
Anything?
Yeah, I think the Fanged Imp ashes are probably the most interesting item at this merchant. Because these are the ashes that you need to
Have a
unlock,
safe
to
journey.
solve the riddle in the Albinoric Rise in Consecrated Snowfield. So it might be that the items of this merchant
Anything else?
allude to the same thematic relations that we find at the Albinoric Rise in the Consecrated Snowfield. Because this merchant and the Albinoric Rise and Consecrated Snowfield are linked through this item here.
Have a safe journey.
And there are some interesting things going on the Albinoric Rise and Consecrated Snowfield. Okay, what else do we have? Two strip of white flesh. Huh. And I think this is Celestial Dew? Bloodhound 9? Lol. Oh. Two strip of white flesh. I just can't look at... it's just too high. Is there anything in that direction? What's up with him? Is he trying to get out? I don't know. Yeah, but it's interesting items. Two strip of white flesh, Celestial Dew. A hint at the Turtle Pope. And Weaver Centurion Lily.
Anything else?
What kind of notes do we have here? Preceptor's secret. Revenants, Frenzied Flame Village. Is that a note regarding Radagon's secret? Oh no, it's about his puppets. Dirty secret in a cellar among the ruins, not far from the Sisters 3. From the Sisters 3? Is that... It's just a strange wording. I'm not sure if it's... Isn't it a strange wording that it's called the Sisters 3? Wouldn't it be called the Three Sisters? Oh, wait. The vile graven witch seems to be a frequent visitor to that place. It's strange that it's noted that the graven witch seems to be a frequent visitor to the place. Oh, wow. It would indicate even more that she might be a carrion, actually. I might have to check out the strips of White Flash's locations in one of the next lore research streams, I think. Okay, let's do this invasion. Yura, Hunter of Bloody Fingers. Actually, I think that Yura is a Radagon parallel, and yeah, but shown from his perspective, in which he is the rightful one. And we fight in this invasion. We are fighting a Raven Mode Assassin, and I described earlier in some of my videos that the Raven Mode Assassin is inspired by Godwyn's story. So, in the questline of Yura, which is in my opinion paralleling the story of Radagon, this is the moment where Godwyn is actually dying and disappearing. So, I think this is what this situation is alluding to in Radagon's and Godwyn's story. Or is it working? Yeah, and as a reward, we're getting the Raptors of the Mist, I think it could call it that. Yeah, Raptor of the Mists. I think it's in the design of the Ravenmound assassin. This is alluding to the circumstances that Godwyn is kind of disappearing after his assassination, but returns later through the fog, or through the mists. Yeah, in the same way we do actually. Oh wait.
Wretched worms, leave me be.
Wow, this is the line. I don't know if this if they didn't cut that line because there's cut content. I don't know if you just realized what he was saying. He was saying, "Wretched worms, leave me be," which indicates that he is yeah, threatened or is concerned. I don't know what word might fit the best there, but he's yeah, he's concerned about worms, and there is cut content where he gets some kind of insects inside him, inside his head, which he struggles with. I don't know if it's the same, but it's kind of interesting. I don't know what we are supposed to interpret there. Wretched worms, leave me be. Yeah, there was cut content where he is kind of infected with something. I don't think there was a clear solution to this or explanation, even in the cut content, I think. But isn't it interesting that we got such a perfect view on the 4 belfries here? I'm wondering right now if the 4 belfries are so good to see from this location, because maybe, just maybe, because the whole circumstances that this place might allude to in connection to Yura in the Ravenmound Assassin might be connected to the 4 belfries and our actually story as Godwyn. Yeah, it's true. Yura doesn't see them from his perspective, but we do. And if you think from the perspective of the developers, it's about our perspective. So if we are going to talk with Yura, we are actually seeing the 4 belfries. Maybe that's why they are so well designed from this perspective.
Oh, it's you. Thanks for your help there. That bloody finger was a thorn in my side. The And now I'm finally rid of him. Here's a token of thanks. Please, take it.
Such a weird thing. A smithing stone as a token of thanks. I think even smithing stones might allude to something. Maybe it's about the gold.
I may not have much time. I'm dying to see you. Eleonora. Violet Bloodyfinger.
Yeah, I would say the Violet Bloodyfinger is the Glowmite Queen, and at the same time the one that I called Marika as the woman in the black hood earlier. In my videos.
Yes, I've been tracking Eleonora for quite some time. She is the deadliest of all Bloody Fingers. She's felled many an old hand already, but in spite of her cessblood zealotry, Eleonora is a proud knight. If she comes for you, do not think twice. You must flee. There is no shame in self-preservation. Be on your way. Perhaps we will meet again, if fate permits.
Wow, the weather kinda changed drastically.
Be on your way. Perhaps we...
Yeah, he describes her like distant death, exactly. It's because I think that Eleonora the Violet Bloodyfinger is actually paralleling Marika as the woman in the black hood and as the Glowmite Queen. It's yeah, even color coded with the color violet or purple. And I think I now understand why the four belfries are so present here at this location, so well designed from this perspective. I mean, because the whole situation here is alluding to the Night of the Black Knives and Godwyn disappearing, and this one over there, Yura, is paralleling Radagon. Academy of Raya Lucaria. Raya Lucaria. Da, 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 da. Yeah, there's one strange item over here. And this is this is actually a bell tower. Yeah. It's one of the bell towers here in Raya Lucaria. I think this is the magic grease or shield grease, one of them. Yeah, 1 magic grease. Okay, let's don't get sniped. Oh, that was clean. Oh. It's so funny. Have you ever noticed that there are actually birds inside these things? Cute little bird. Birdo. Why is there a puppet over there? Yeah. Interesting, interesting. These banners are Are these banners interesting? Yeah, they're interesting because they have a specific pattern at the top, I just realized. And it's... Oh, Jesus, why can't I... This pattern at the top is a pattern that seems to be connected to the primordial current. It also appears at the study hall. Not the study hall, but at the forum. What is it called? This carpet is also carrion coated. It appears... I think only 1 or twice... maybe 3 times in the game. Hey, fan. Is it not one of the pattern in the blue robe of the woman in the Windmill Village and its ritual? I mean, at the pattern at the top of the banners, right? It definitely looks similar to those patterns on the cape of the Windmill Village maiden, but I think it's not exactly the same. But if you look at the oh, let me show you something. Here's a hidden room. I think I only discovered this like 2 years after release. I don't know, but it's not even that important because there's almost nothing in here. But there are 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. 7 gravestones of the Carrion Princess Maiden. And if you look at the... Yeah, it's this symbol on the rope, actually. I don't know if you can see it. It's in the middle. It's the same symbol that is also on the top of the banners. And it also appears in the forum where Radagon's wolf is actually in Raya Lucaria. There's the same symbol in a bigger way shown with a purple black background. Yeah, in this room, you have to think about it. The developers made so much effort to create an additional room like this, but there's nothing interesting in this room. There's nothing interesting. This is just a rune arc that is placed here. This is just a rune arc. It's nothing really interesting. So why took they so much effort to create a specific room, a hidden room, when they only placed a rune arc in this place? So the reason, in my opinion, is, like so often, it's not about the item. The hidden room wasn't created just because this rune arc. I think, especially in such cases, it's not about the item. It's about the environment and the informations or interpretations that we are supposed to make. So, and it's especially this room that made me realize this Carrion princess might be the actual Marika. So, and I think that's what the rune arc is. Oh, Andrew got it right before I said it. Yes, it's exactly what I think that this room is supposed to tell us. There's nothing interesting in this room, just a rune arc. So it's obvious that the environment is the focus here in this room, and the whole reason why they created this room. And to find such a corpse right in front and looking at this current princess with a rune arc, to me it seems like, okay, the rune arc is one of those items that I think contains an association with Marika. And every time a rune arc is placed, I think it's like FromSoft saying, here, Marika. And yeah, this room in particular made me realize, okay, this current princess might be the actual Marika. It's actually 7 tombs. It's 7 tombs, and it's kind of interesting. Not only do we have 7 of these tombs, there are 7 wandering mausoleums with similar tombs. And the only place where we also find these are in the Harlech tree, and there are also 7. So 7 again. These are like always placed 7 times. It's really weird. In the Harlech tree there are also 7 of these, but with another statue or character on it. But I don't know. I'm not confident to yeah. I'm just not convinced of any interpretation what the number 7 might be linked to. We're still speculating about that. And sometimes I'm wondering what the statue might be. If this might be important. I mean, we got this statue. But maybe there's a reason why it's placed here? I don't know. It's so incredibly shiny. Oh, Golden Rune 2. Yeah, and the Golden Rune 2 is also speaking of a maiden. Provided a finger maiden can be found. Interesting that we not only have the Karen Princess or Karen Maiden, we also have a rune placed here. Speaking of a maiden, I think it's no coincidence, actually. And a Sambath missing stone. Oh, hello. Hello. Yeah, the bird cages are also interesting. It's just... I don't know. And these grey stones on the bottom usually have the Carrion sigil on them later in the academy. Okay, so yeah, that was that. Maybe we. I think here now begins another another part of the environment. So, what do we have in this location here? Oh. So what is he? Ugh. This is mimic Grace mimic or mimic Grace, what it's called, Grace mimic Grace, and I think it's even placed 3 times as a sign of bad omen, because I think the Grace mimic is, I think it's often used to yeah, once again, there's some symbolic meaning to the Grace mimic, and I have examined the location where it appears, and I think it almost always it fits a situation where it is leading you to your death, actually, where it is yeah, it's kind of symbolic for being led to your death in some way, or betrayed, in, like deceived in a way. Yeah, where you are deceived in a way and are being led to your grave. So it kind of fits that it is sold by, I think Patches is one of those who sell the mimic race, I think. Grace mimic. And the other one who's selling it is Gostock. And I think both of them are heavily associated with such situations where they are kind of leading you to your death in a way. And it's also interesting that it appears 3 times, which is also linked to yeah, which is used as a sign of bad omen. Yeah, but this was one of the locations where it might be incredibly vague. And I was not always convinced of that idea, and maybe, I don't know, maybe it's placed here to, I don't know, maybe because there's a cliff in the gravestone, and just that, yeah, leading you, I mean, there's just awaiting death. Continue in that direction, maybe? I don't know. I once was thinking about the bluish looking rays over there, but I don't know. It fits better that if you are following that direction, it just leads you to your death. I think that's what the Grace Mimic is about. And it fits that it is sold by Patches and Gostock as well. And there are some other locations where it is placed and also fits the theme. It's also placed, for example, where the merchants are buried, for example. There's also a Grace Mimic placed. And they were also led to their death. And these are also sucking the mana out of you. The FP, I mean. Spellproof dried liver. The marriage was a trap. Mimicking the guidance of grace. Yeah, that is what the Grace Mimic is about, I think. Or it's not about, but where is it? Grace Mimic. Useful as a last resort for those who have lost their way, or for the use by those who believe that unrefined guidance will lead to truer encounters. Another thing connected to it, I think, is so it said that it has no sense of order, and I think there's some play of words here, because so it does not contain order. The grace we see in the world, the sites of grace, for example, they definitely have some kind of order, showing us the direction we are that we are supposed to go. But the Grace Mimic, I think what's interesting is that the icon actually looks like some part of a tree, for example, or some kind of plant. I think it's yeah, supposed to resemble some earth tree design, because the colors kind of match with those leaves. Yeah, now we get trapped. just realized that it's directly pointing towards the item over there. I know very well what item this is because it's a silver pickled fowl-foot. And it was really hard. It's really... I really have a hard time to... Yeah, this was one of the locations where I was not sure how the silver pickled fowl-foot as a Godwyn reference might fit. It's placed at the bottom of a tree, and the hound was eating this silver pickled, this corpse over here. Yeah. And we were kind of trapped on the bridge. So what I was thinking, but I'm not. Yeah, as I said, I'm not 100%. I was thinking maybe, just maybe, it's about being trapped at the bottom of the earth tree. Maybe it's about us and being attacked or trying to be attacked by a hound, by Radagon maybe. Yeah, it looks like Radagon killed Godwyn because there's a hound eating this corpse with the silver pickled fowl-foot at the foot of a tree. And we also got trapped right before. We got trapped right before coming to this place. So, yeah, So my interpretation for now is that it might allude to the circumstances that we are actually getting trapped when we enter the earth tree or getting closer to the tree. This was my interpretation for now. Yeah, but it's incredibly vague and highly speculative. A little bit of stretching here. That's a really big corpse. Yeah, that's what I thought too, Sneaky Turtle. That is what I had in mind so far. It's in the end, it's just the best interpretation that I have for now. And then we have corpses praying to a grave. Ah, come on. Oh. Two mage degrees. Oh, guys. No, 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 no. Oh, so many more. But it kind of fits the Grace Mimic theme. which also might symbolize to being led to a trap or to your own death. Hmm. Two magics. What else do we have? Five mushrooms. Oh, the spectral lens is also oh, that's really interesting. Because the only NPC using it, I don't know if there are more, but what I know is that Lutel is one of those NPCs that is using the spectral lens. I don't know if there are more. Do you guys know any other NPC besides Luthel that is using the spectral lens? The Headless and Night Rain use it, yeah. In the base game, it's just the spirit ashes of Lutel as a mausoleum soldier, mausoleum knight. But I don't think there's any other of them using it. Night Rain is probably just highlighting the connection between these two, and just re-emphasizing the connections. Oh. When it comes to Night Rain, it's really interesting because I think the soft lore, or how you want to call it, that it's highlighted and emphasized in Night Rain through the design is it can be found in the base game as well most of the time. It's just way more vague, in a more vague way implemented. It was probably overseen, in my opinion. Oh, I mean, it definitely says, yeah, Skull of the Headless Mausoleum Knight, Soul of Phantasmic Spirit Foes. You will find there's a... Hey, Darcy, by the way. Do you find there's a difference between narratively intentional item placements versus one placed for gameplay purpose or just oversights? I don't... Or it's hard to say. I mean, so if we consider some of the items being placed as references to some lore relations, so if, you know, yeah, I mean I think there's no way for us how we would be able to distinguish between differentiate between item placement, items that were placed for lore reasons versus items that were placed for gameplay reasons. But I just work with the assumption that it was primarily placed for lore reasons. And although that might be not almost the case, it might be not almost the case, but I think they at least tried to make, they at least try to allude to some stuff. Yeah, I think they were looking for some kind of compromise when it comes to these things as well. I mean, I don't think there are a lot of gameplay reasons when it comes to item placement of items like Grace Mimic, for example. There's not much that we are gaining from them. There's and we are not gaining much from a lot of those items. Let's just look at the soap, for example. The soap is placed like, I think just 2 times. I don't think they were placing the soap for gameplay reasons. They just place the soap where it thematically fits, and also probably has some kind of symbolic meaning to it. I mean, obviously they are also trying to make it, yeah. I don't know if I'm making sense here. I'm sorry. It's a hard question. It might be a good question, but it's, yeah. Ah, fuck me. I want to parry this guy. Gravity well. So, I think they designed almost everything in form of some of microcosms, and which are supposed to allude or reference situations or parts of the main story. But I think that there are some major locations, for example, like the Albinoric village, which is paralleling a big or an important part of the main story. And from there on, I think they just went smaller and smaller and smaller. I think there were like big parallels, like the characters and big important locations with big events that are paralleling bigger events. And when it comes to the open world, I think they were just filling these empty spaces with smaller microcosms and illusions. And they probably become incredibly vague, but I think they might not be as important as the big parallels. The Albinoric village might be crucial to the understanding of some parts, but when it comes to it, the same event might be alluded to in some other places as well, I think, but will probably alluded to in a more vague and in some more smaller places and situations maybe. I think they are alluding to the same part of the story multiple times, but sometimes in a really small and vague way. But in between, there are sometimes big, crucial locations where it's yeah, more recognizable what they are alluding to. I really have a hard time today to articulate myself, and probably because I haven't thought about those things too much, or haven't structured those thoughts for myself. Oh, it's interesting. The sorcery that we just got is mentioning Radan. Interesting, interesting. You know, it was also an Alabaster Lord. Yeah. And I think even if some items might be placed for gameplay reasons, I think it's almost worth a second look, like Sneaky just said. And yeah, like Sneaky also said, I think they almost always go how would this item have got here, and should we make a narrative reference ever since Demon Souls? Well, actually, that Sneaky, that's something I don't think. I don't think that they are thinking about how got this item here. I think they're just placing these items how they in a way that they are thematically fitting. I don't think that they are thinking a lot about actual in-game. How do I describe that? I think they are more painting. I think they are like it's like playing charade. I think they are playing charade with us. So when they are placing items, it's not about how did this item got there in-game lore-wise. I think they are placing items as like symbols in a way you would use them in a charade. So, and they are like painting or like, yeah, communicating with us in that way. Imagine you want to tell a story just with symbols, and you're drawing symbols in an order to tell a story, for example. And I think they're doing exactly this just with items, in a maybe even more complex way. And for example, the jar merchant in Night Rain is also alluding to this kind of communication, I think, because in Night Rain, this jar merchant is communicating with a with a board and sketches without saying a word. And I think it's exactly what FromSoft is trying to tell us there, that they are communicating with symbols and sketches. And yeah, it's From Software playing charade with us, in my opinion. Oh, fucked up. Oh, I missed a spot. I missed a spot over there. Ah, jeez. Can they just stop for a second? I need to see how much I can glean from any behind the scenes on the development process, being such a large couple of work, authority, and power. Having it soldiers. Yeah, there are interesting comparisons to other art works of art in real life, but I just I usually try to avoid these comparisons or in general drawing parallels to real life stuff or other works of art, because I think it's just getting too complicated and too it's just there's just no way to yeah, to actually know what real life stuff actually inspired the game's content and in which way and how it is, if there's some meaning to it. I think most of the time it's just the visuals that they use as inspiration, and but when it comes to the actual meaning of stuff and the actual meaning of visuals and other symbols and so on, I like to look at the stuff in game and try to decipher the meaning by looking at the context in game and not to dive too much into sources outside the game. Nonetheless, there might be some interesting stuff, I don't know. Why are we able to summon a spirit ash at this place? Oh wait, what? Is it just... No, not here, but... Oh, is it because of the Alabaster Lord over there? So let's see what they were praying to. Oh, the Karen Knights. Almost said. So, okay. Praying to a Karen Knight. They are also praying to gravestones. I don't know why. Golden Rune 4. Am I supposed to jump down here? It's way too deep, isn't it? What the hell? Yeah, I saw some posts and some comments about Godwyn and in comparison to Baldur, but I don't know anything about that. I'm fucking confused right now. Where? Shouldn't there be a way out here? Oh, there is one. Oh. Oh, right. Should I get caught in that? This is also such a strange spot. Because it looks like this asset might contain some meaning as well. There was one of the corpses praying to one of these assets above. Lost ashes of war. Yeah, usually I think these might allude to lost parts of the history. And in this case here, I was wondering, especially because Patches was so highlighting this, there is an abductor virgin under the big wheel how Patches describes it. So I was thinking, what if the big wheel is symbolic for the Elden Ring? Or maybe the Abductor Virgin for Marika as the woman in the Black Hood? I don't know. Maybe the crystals even match this because it's about the Elden Beast. Ah. I know it might sound... It sounds crazy, but that's what I think. Those are things that I have in mind sometimes. With the big wheel, the Elden Ring, we got like Marika's the woman in the Black Hood over here. Crystals, symbolic for the Elden Beast. Some of the burned corpses. Long-tailed cat talisman. And yeah, Sneaky Turtle, that's what I think. That it might allude to the circumstances in which... oopsie. Fuck. Fall damage is real. And just yesterday in the last stream, I'm still playing with the idea that maybe the Abductor Virgin is inspired by the circumstances in which Marika, as the woman in the Black Hood, is in some way. So if she's part of the plan, and planned the Night of the Black Knives, in which Godwyn died, and I mean in some way, then she is abducting Godwyn, isn't she? Like kidnapping or stealing Godwyn from the Earth Tree in some way. And maybe this is what the Abductor Virgins are, yeah, referencing. And with the one, if the one down there, so yeah, and in this area we have an Abductor Virgin right under a big wheel near some purple crystals. So I think maybe it's about Marika as the woman in the Black Hood. Yeah, linked to the Elden Ring, maybe even sealed inside the Elden Ring, and yeah, abducting us, stealing us, and sending us to the Volcano Manor. The Volcano Manor, I think, is like a hub for the conspiracy of Marika and Godfrey in some way. Wait, what? What the fuck? Should I get teleported somewhere else? Do I have to die? I mean, that makes the parallel even more fitting, isn't it? That we have to die to get yeah, abducted. It fits the parallel even better, I would say. And Andrew, you think the snake motive doesn't fit really well? I would say it fits pretty well. Oh, you're right. It's exactly where the bridge is. Oh, that's kind of important because, yeah. I mean, I'm not there in my videos yet, but this bridge This bridge, if you ever wondered why there's a fucking cutscene for this bridge, I think there's something to it. People were like joking around about about how Miyazaki isn't creating cutscenes for some bosses, but he's for God's sake, he's creating cutscene for a bridge, which is kind of crazy. Usually, because I think bridges. So I think there are two how do I describe this in English? When it comes to map design, I think there are two big symbolic environmental details that they're using. And for one, it's waterfalls. I already pointed that one out in one of my videos. Like, waterfalls have the symbolic meaning of transformation. And when it comes to map design, they use these waterfalls to allude to some kind of transformation. Yeah, and opening dams, it's about a waterfall. So we got two cutscenes here. We got a cutscene for a waterfall in the DLC, because it's actually about waterfalls and their symbolic meaning. And when it comes to bridges, bridges like waterfalls also have some symbolic meaning to them. These are the two big environmental symbolic details or whatever you want to call them. I'm sorry for my vocabulary. So while waterfalls are representative for transformation, when it comes to bridges, it's about connections. I was once reading about literary meaning of bridges, and it's in most of the cases it's about in most cases it's about connections. It might be sometimes about connections to the past or connections to things that lie behind you, and in this case, so if you remember all of my fucking theory and the story that I told, it is about Marika and Godfrey conspiring together with the demigods, Rykard, Melina, Rani, and Godwyn, and it's all connected to Volcano Manor. So, and the cutscene where this bridge is actually rising up and connecting these two sides, the actual symbolic meaning behind this, and it's fucking mind blown. In my opinion, it is about us as Godwyn re-establishing our connection to the conspiracy of Marika and Godfrey. So when we are raising the bridge, it's actually about us re-establishing our past, where it's about our connection to the conspiracy of Marika and Godfrey and the other demigods. So when it's the whole theme about a family of champion is actually, it was once a real heroic thing. It was they had all good intentions, but it went all downhill after the shattering, and they kinda, Rykard transformed it into some apparition, and but before the shattering, they were all like a family of champions. And I think the bridge is actually about it contains the symbolic meaning of us re-establishing to our past, connecting to our past as one who was part of the conspiracy. And that's why we got the cutscene. Yeah, I don't know if there might be even more to it, I don't know. I mean, I'm not an expert. I was just reading a lot about literary meanings of bridges that might be possible, and it just occurred to me that this is probably the most fitting interpretation and meaning that comes to bridges, because it's the most common interpretation as well. And there are other bridges as well that I haven't pointed out yet. Five smoldering butterflies. Especially the big bridges are kind of important. And you guys know what? I was always wondering if the wheel is actually representing the eclipse. Isn't it looking a little bit like the eclipse, the wheel? With these things at the edge? Just brainstorming here at this point. It's just, you know, I was thinking about the idea this is yeah, that the abductor version is representing Marika as the woman in the black hood and responsible for Godwyn's for Godwyn vanishing, but also for his resurrection. So the eclipse might make sense, and the other weapon that she's using is some kind of crescent, and the crescent also fits because I think Marika is also associated with the crescent moon. And that's something that I haven't talked about yet either, but. Yeah, whatsoever. Did you see the Undertaker's skill makes her a woman in the black hood? Yeah, exactly. It's really interesting. It's just, you know, before the DLC of Nightring came out, I was thinking, okay, dude, the Undertaker looks so heavily the woman in the black hood coded is kind of insane. I mean, she's literally wearing a black hood, right? But when it comes to the lore and the remembrances, it's incredibly odd what's happening there. And I think they went a step further when it comes to the lore of the Scholar and the Undertaker. So what was happening there, at least that's what I think, I'm not sure about this one yet, but it's seems a lot to me that The Undertaker might be inspired visually by Marika as the woman in the black hood, but just visually. But the lore is... It looks definitely like that the lore is paralleling the lore of Radagon. At least that's what I think, once again. It's a bit strange. I think they mixed this up again. They're just always making it confusing. In The Undertaker's Remembrance, for example, it's about someone who is biting his left arm. When he couldn't hold it much longer. And that one, for example, is probably alluding to the Shattering. Where Radagon kinda, yeah, left being broken with no left arm. Is her skill inspired by the Goldbreaker? Is it mentioned to anywhere? Because I don't see how it is, how it might be how it might be inspired by the Goldbreaker, because the animations don't really look similar. Oh, guy, come on now. That's some insane damage here. Oh. Yeah, I think the Scholar is paralleling some parts of Radagon's story, but in a very distant past. I think the scholars paralleling events yeah, before the before the war against the giants. Inquisition chamber. Guillotine. Okay, let's look at some items. This one over there. One there. It's all about the abductor virgins. Okay, this is just smithing stone 6. Wow, okay. Not much. Oh. Smithing stone 4. Nah. This is also such a strange place. So many budding cave moss. Oh. Wow. Oh, Jesus. I feel a little bit underleveled here. Yeah, but at least in this fight you can clearly see that there's like 2 different versions. And the one got a wheel, the other one got a... What was it called? Sickle? Yeah, and I was thinking maybe it's inspired by the crescent moon and the eclipse. Yeah, as I said, I thought maybe it's alluding to the eclipse and the crescent moon, but can't say for sure. Oh, can you fucking stop? Oh. I'm cursed. Oh! Oh, I almost got them. For fuck's sake. Of course, Jess. I just wanted to see if, yeah. If something is getting triggered when I die. Of course. I just wanted to enjoy the view of the abductor virgins. Okay, let's try again. Can you fucking stop, mate? Oh shit. Oh no. It's all about the fucking no. Oh hell no. It's all about the timing. Ah, I was too greedy there. Woo! not again. Standing still, okay. Inquisitor's Tree Rondo. A torture used on nobles behind the curtain at the volcano manor of Mount Galmir. Yeah, I'm wondering if these circumstances relate to Radagon or America. So, just because we find them with the abductor virgins. It's just usually I think that the similar to the candle tree wooden shield, I thought maybe every time when it's about candles or even a candlestick or a candle tree, it might all be about the some kind of prophecy of burning of the earth tree, or maybe the the prophecy of someone wanting to end the existence of the Elden Ring, maybe. That's what I thought. I don't know if I'm right there. Yeah, my thoughts for now, while brainstorming, might be okay. So it's either about America shattering the Elden Ring, maybe, but yeah, it doesn't fit the theme of torture. Maybe it's about Radagon torturing America when it comes to the Night of the Black Knives. The same circumstances that we have with Selen, who was tortured and being questioned about the Night of the Black Knives. Maybe this is some kind of allusion to these circumstances where Radagon and the Elden Ring were like, well, Radagon were torturing America's soul inside him to find out what happened on the Night of the Black Knives, maybe. It would fit the whole theme to the abductor virgins, maybe. Yeah, let us brainstorm a bit, I would say. Wait, this is where I came from, right? Yeah. Abductor virgin. I think it's kind of strange that we got the Sides of Grace here, because there's nothing really interesting in this cave. Do you guys... Oh, it's one of those situations where I'm wondering, is it intended that we directly watch at the Earth Tree coming out of this grave? Out of this cave, I mean. Because in a lot of cases, it seems like intentionally what we see when we come to, when we go through some specific locations. And in this case, we're coming out of this cave and look directly at the Earth Tree. Yeah, it's not always the case, but at some spots, it definitely looks intentionally framed. We have seen this a lot of times, like when we come out to Limgrave the first time, you can definitely see there, what we see is definitely intentional. Like, they are designing this whole environment in a way that we see exactly what they want us to see, and it looks like just too intentional that we see the Earth Tree in this coming out of this grave, isn't it? Maybe because it's about Marika as the woman in the black hood, referenced through the abductor virgin. Yeah, just a thought. Just because it looks like too perfectly framed. Time for confidence. It's like a dream. Yeah, I think the comments are right here. And even if you don't understand it, people can definitely feel it. It's like insane. See the water river. Oh, it's actually a river. Yeah. I somehow I forgot that it's actually a river. Or considered a river. Oh, Patches is gone. Ah. Ah, fuck. I think he's only gone because I discovered sites of grace outside of the cave. Because usually you got another chance to speak to him at this place after surviving the transport of the abductor virgin to Volcano Manor. Hey Void. Ich muss sagen, wenn es um den DLC geht, habe ich da eine ziemlich kontroverse Meinung zu. Weil ich bin der Überzeugung, dass also je mehr ich drüber nachgedacht habe, desto mehr kam ich irgendwann zu dem Entschluss. Und auch je mehr ich halt im DLC mir angeschaut habe, ich bin mir ziemlich sicher, dass die Dinge im DLC wirklich eher symbolisch gedacht sind. Das sind doch eher alles symbolische Anspielungen. Also so wie das meiste im Spiel. So war es auch schon im Hauptspiel, bin ich der Meinung. Und im DLC ist es halt eben noch umso stärker in dem Sinne designt, bin ich der Meinung. So, also auch die Todesritter, zu meiner Meinung nach, zusammen mit dem grotesken Gesicht im Hintergrund, glaube ich, geht es eher um eine symbolische Anspielung, um Umstände bezüglich Godwyn. Ich glaube, es geht nämlich letztendlich geht's darum, im DLC, worauf angespielt wird, ist, dass der Urge Tree in gewisser Weise versucht, sich Godwyn wieder einzuverleiben, weil so wie ein echter Tod ja eigentlich auch die Rückkehr zum Urge Tree bedeutet. Aber meiner Meinung nach halt Godwyn in der Nacht der Schwarzen Messer versucht hat, eigentlich diesem Schicksal zu entfliehen. Das ist der Struggle, den er hatte nach seiner, oder auf seiner Flucht Richtung Stormvale, meiner Meinung nach. Während der Elden Ring und der Erdtree und Radagon eigentlich versucht haben, sich Godwyn einzuverleiben, hat Godwyn eher versucht zu flüchten. Also auch wenn die so dargestellt werden, als seien sie auf Godwyns Seite, glaube ich, dass sie es eigentlich nicht sind. Sondern eher halt auf der Seite des Elden Rings und des Erdtrees. Und der Ring, der in deren Rüstung auch dargestellt wird, da wird ja deutlich betont, dass deren Maske einen goldenen Ring darstellt. Und deswegen, ich glaube, da geht es eher um die Anspielung auf den Elden Ring. Und auch wenn manche meinen vielleicht, der Meinung sind, dass es das ganze Todesthema dem Elden Ring widerspricht. Also der Elden Ring und die Goldene Ordnung ist anpassungsfähig und Rocher teilt uns das auch mit. Also die Goldene Ordnung ist fähig, sich neue Kräfte und Magien anzueignen und sich anzupassen. So sorry guys for the German contribution right there. He was asking about the Death Knights in the Land of Shadow. And if there's an explanation when it comes to Godwyn and how they knew that Godwyn is supposed to be the Prince of Death. Yeah. Prinz des Todes ist Prince of Death. But as I said a lot of times, I think I know it's a controversial opinion, but in my opinion, the DLC is primarily meant symbolically, as it might be some kind of dream world of America, in my opinion. Yeah, that's what I forgot to say. Void. Ich glaube, dass einfach der DLC hauptsächlich eher so eine Art Traumwelt von America ist, was das Ganze halt vor allem auch nochmal, also was passend dazu ist, wie ich es glaube, dass es halt eher symbolischer Natur ist, was da alles dargestellt wird. One of my favorite illusions in the DLC, for example, are the Divine Beast Warriors, the Divine Beast Dancing Warriors. Those the one that appears as a boss, and the other one that appears as a mini boss. And there's a second Divine Beast Dancing Lion using Deathblight. And it's placed in a safe zone in the Lands of Shadow. Inside of a building which has a hole in the roof. And I think it's about... So I think both of these Divine Beast Dancing Lion are alluding or representing symbolically Godfrey and Godwyn. So I think their whole design is once again just inspired by the themes of the original story. And when it comes to the Divine Beast Dancing Lion, they contain the theme of a lion, which makes sense because it is about members of the golden lineage, with the golden line as a crest. The horns kind of make sense because Godfrey and Godwyn both have connections to the Crucible. Both of them have some kind of Crucible symbol on their capes, which I, at least in regard to Godfrey, pointed out in one of my videos. And it kind of makes sense. And when it comes to, yeah, the Divine Beast Dancing Lion using Deathblight, I think this one is representing Godwyn, who is placed in a safe area inside of a building with a hole in the roof. Exactly like we as Godwyn were slumbering in the Chapel of Anticipation. On a safe platform inside of a building with a hole in the roof. So, and there you might be able to recognize how they are just designing these things more symbolically and also placing them as symbolic references. And these are also some kind of themes that I'm following when it comes to a Godwyn build. Because there's themes like ice, we got storm, and we got lightning. The ice theme, in my opinion, derives from the real America. The storm theme might be connected to Stormvale as their original home, in my opinion. Or past, maybe. Lightning makes also sense. Maybe connections to Farmazula or like the Dragon Cult, maybe. I don't know. Or again, or also to some of the past connections, relationships. No, I've played a lot Void. I've played way too much. Although I have to say I've played more although I've played a lot, it's not just the base game and the DLC and the Night Rain, but I would say I am way more looking into the base game when it comes to details. Yeah, but of course the Godwyn Run will at one point enter the Land of Shadow. The Lands of Shadow. But if you compare the base game and the DLC, it becomes quite clear that the base game is way more filled with details, and I think even, especially the item placement is way more interesting in the base game. Although there are, of course, some interesting locations in the DLC as well, but the base game is filled way more with stuff. Sometimes I ask myself, how would Miyazaki say if he would watch your videos of some other people? Yeah, would be definitely interesting. But I think he will never do it. He once said in an interview that he will never comment on what the actual true story is, and it kind of makes sense because there is no way, I think, that an answer of Miyazaki would be satisfying, because yeah, what could he say? He could say that the lore is exactly how we imagine it, that we figured everything out and we would gain nothing new. And on the other hand, if we haven't figured out much and there's a lot left, or the story is actually quite different than people think, then it will also be a quite unsatisfying answer and even alienate some of the players, I think. So it's better to keep that all a mystery. Conspectus scroll. And I actually think that's a big part of it. It's a huge problem in the community. Is exactly this that I think the community is struggling with the way how FromSoft is telling their story for so long, for so many years, that they are kind of used to not get answers. They are now kind of used to the story being so obscured or so vague, or even that it's not understandable, and they stop believing that there is a coherent story. And I think at this point, if you give the community something that, even if it would feel in a way that it cracks the story, or that's what I try to do at least, I think the community wouldn't accept this, because if you actually have a coherent story that might explain the events in the lands between, it will definitely feel unsatisfying for a lot of people, but because it will take away the mystery, it will be a hard time for some member of the community, because accepting an answer that is not something that you came up with yourself, it's a little bit unsatisfying. It's like seeing the solution to a riddle that you haven't solved yourself. And I think that's something that a lot of people might not be able to accept. And the other thing is that how my approach works is I kind of try to deconstruct how they might created and designed the game, and even the approach of trying to deconstruct the game in the way how they designed it and created, it's also taking away the mystery in a way. It's a little bit like religion versus science, where science feels like it takes away the mystery of the universe and life, if you know what I mean. Like, actual explanations, even though they might be complex. For some people, it feels like it takes away the mystery, which isn't quite true in my opinion. It's more like it depends on the perspective. Okay, we had the Conspector Scroll, we had the Craftsman, Glintstone Craftsman Cookbook 5. What is contained in that one? Magic Grease, Magic Bone, Arrow. So, and at this point from in the academy, we got these carrion sigils on the ground. These were not on those grey stones before. This location. I did see on the Elden Ring Lore subreddit they might actually be looking to Godwyn. What do you mean by that, Sneaky Turtle? I think the quantity of speculation has definitely gone down, but I think the quality is increasing. Yeah, that might be true. Depends on what you... Yeah, depends on what you think good quality is. Yeah, but the thing, these things are coming up again and again through the years. When it comes to Godwyn, for example. Yeah, this might be another hint that this might be a Carrion Princess, because it's a Carrion Glintstone stuff that is hanging above it. Do I have it? It's this one. Yeah, it's the Carrion Glintstone stuff that is hanging right above this Carrion Princess statue. So just something else that is pointing to a Carrion relationship right there. I'm not sure if this was really an ambush or if they were just alarmed by seeing me. There's her actual royal scepter, yes, that's true. At least, the... Is it called royal scepter? Yeah, the stuff from Renala. The gesture or the pose of her is weird as well. I don't know why she's holding her arm like this. Yeah, that was what I was thinking as well. Maybe she's pointing at the fake wall, but the picture, it's just that the painting appears in several places, in this one as well. So although it fits pretty well and looks like she's pointing at the fake wall, I don't think they just designed the painting. Or is it? Is it appearing anywhere else? I was also thinking about the idea. Is she doing the outer or inner order gesture? Not really. I mean her other arm doesn't fit this gesture, but it's just a really strange pose. Commit. I don't know much about Bloodborne, honestly. Yeah, and although we had a lot of grey stones right in front of this room with the Carrion sigil, this room does not have the Carrion sigils on the ground for some reason. It's kind of strange. The jars are coming. It's really interesting to see that there are skeletons and bones right in front of this crystal pile. And by the way, you can even see a lot of dead birds on the ground here. Are these cuckoos? I don't know. A lot of bones right in front of this pile of crystals. And we had the crystal, the Graven Mess talisman. What is it called? Graven School talisman. Ah, yes, yes, yes. But I think I'm making a cut here and... Again, dead birds? Why were they placing dead birds right in front of this room? Or are they all of the... Oh, they are all... over the place here. Are they everywhere here? Nope, nope, nope. No, they have only placed these dead birds right in front of this. Just here and in the other room, I think. Hmm. Yeah, but I'm going offline, and this was the stream for today. And I will do the wolf next stream. Maybe tomorrow. But thanks for coming by, guys. I really enjoy the chat. Every time. And I'm glad to discuss some stuff.
Hey!
So I hope you guys have a good evening. And I wish you all the best, guys. Bye bye.